In 1869, a group of concerned Christian women and clergymen formed the Children's Home Association to care for orphans of the Civil War. A generous gift in 1875 provided the Children's Home with its permanent location on D Street in Hamilton, Ohio. After more than a century of caring for children, the Children's Home experienced financial difficulties and was forced to close in 1985. For many years, this majestic building sat empty and forgotten until around 2006 when Doreen McDonald and Carrie Halim began hearing the cry of God's heart.
Every time Doreen McDonald passed by this house, she heard God saying that He wanted to restore this facility back to taking care of His children. As Carrie Halim walked past this house, God told her that there would be children living in this place again. True religion is to care for the orphans and widows in their distress.
Calling all broken hearts, calling all wounded souls, calling the one who feels alone. Come where the healing flows and find that you're truly known. Run to the voice that's calling you home. To the Father's house, the place where you belong. The Father's house, where the weak are made strong. Come and see what love is all about. There's a place for you at the Father's house.
It all began with a challenge from Lou Engle in 2008 and then again in 2009 to become part of the solution to abortion.
In 2008, Daryl and I went away to North Carolina and we fasted and prayed, and God gave us an idea about foster families living in community. And this was confirmed to us in 2009 at the International House of Prayer, where they saw us building a home for families and children.
We had heard of the work that Tim McDonald had started in Hamilton, Ohio, and planned to support it. But God had different plans. 2 months after we met Tim and his wife, we became directors of the ministry that they had started. Tim's first wife, Doreen, passed away, never seeing the fulfillment of her dream. Tim remarried, and he and his new wife, Kristen, worked to make Doreen's dream a reality. Tim and Kristen's vision was in line with our vision. They had acquired this property, which was originally used by 2 praying women to house children who had lost their parents during the Civil War. It was in use as a children's home until the mid-1970s when it shut down and had long been neglected. After months of praying for clarity, God led us to Isaiah 61, and from this passage came the name of our ministry, New Oaks Community. Our focus is to provide a place and an environment to accommodate foster families that nurture, support, and encourage foster children and each other, leveraging biblical principles. After Tim remarried, he was asked to transfer to California with his job. He prayed for a replacement, but none came. Before deciding whether to shut down the project or to move to California, Tim prayed once more, asking God to send someone by that coming Sunday. That Sunday, we visited the children's home and met him. Accepting the call was fairly simple, but the task of carrying it out was immense. We purchased a home close to the Father's house and restored it, but struggled with selling our previous home. We left our support system of friends with the move. Balancing work and the ministry had its own set of challenges. While restoring the property, we had several break-ins resulting in thousands of dollars of tools and copper being stolen. And then Roxanne was diagnosed with cancer. We knew we were in a battle, and the only defense was prayer.
Shortly after moving to Hamilton, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I began to wonder if we'd missed God. Where was He? I didn't want to go through chemo and radiation. I didn't want to feel sick. I felt alone and abandoned. My family and friends started praying for us. And as I reflected on the promises that God had given me, I began to decree that I will live and not die and declare the works of the Lord. I believe that God had called both Daryl and I to this project. Yes, we took a risk and obeyed God. It has not been an easy process, but God has been with me all the way. I began to claim His word that says, "The Lord is my strength, my personal bravery, and my invincible army." As I walked out my healing, the work on the Father's house slowed, and there were times that I felt like giving up. But with encouragement from my family and friends, I kept fighting. I have faith to believe that I will see this dream fulfilled. It is an understanding the heart of the Father for His children that gives us courage to go on. I want to see these neglected children reach their God-given potential in Jesus.
God has been faithful. There have been many victories. The cancer is gone. Funds have been raised. Material has been donated. People have volunteered. Churches have supported the work. Projects have been completed and new ones started. And even children in the neighborhood who once thought this place was haunted have taken up a collection for children that would one day live here.
The Father's house will accommodate 6 families. A greater support system will wrap around these families, offering their skills, their talents, and their love in support of these families and others who desire to foster or adopt children. A prayer room, manned by interns, will be open daily, and they will offer their prayer and support to these families and children.
The dream is becoming a reality, but there's still much work to be done, and we need your help. At newoakscommunity.org, you can find out ways to get involved with the project. You can donate funds, you can volunteer, find out how to pray, and get updates on the progress of our work.
You can learn how to be a foster parent. We have information on adoption. The need is great, and the rewards are out of this world.
Would you join with us to make this dream a reality for our children?
Here you will always be part of the family. So run to the voice that's calling you home to the Father's house, the place where you belong. The Father's house, where the weak are made strong. Come and see what love is all about. There's a place for you at the Father's